Good afternoon, everybody, and evening and good morning, wherever you might be. Welcome back to Rayfest, the final day of our first online festival celebrating women of spirit and welcoming friends from right around the world. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Fatima Ashraf, and together with Simon Dyer, we are the co-creators of Ray of God. Ray seeks to share feminine spiritual wisdom, to help realize God in all ways and to align with justice, truth, and beauty. The energetic state of the feminine is our guiding principle and holds our intention. And we believe that all genders hold the feminine and masculine within themselves. While we are women-led and women-centered, we welcome and encourage all genders to join us in a safe, inclusive space. Ray does not seek to present a voice of expertise. We see ourselves as travelers along the way and learning with each step, God willing. Our ideas are constantly evolving and we hope you will join us on this journey to deeper consciousness. The aim of this festival, as I hope you will be experiencing, is to heal, harmonize, and challenge. And our contributors have been speaking to the broad theme of her space. That is how women create and claim or reclaim sacred and other spaces, both literally and through reshaping narratives and giving voice to their views and experiences as they discover their power and agency as women. We now welcome Naseem Kakko, who will be offering an embodied experience workshop. And just some introductory words about the workshop and Naseem, but not too much because we don't want to take away from her time. Her space, her ground, her body. The sacred she is known to be matter, Shakti, spirit merging into form, the uniting of light and dark, so we may experience the timeless in our living reality. We are here to join Naseem for a guided journey into embodied connection with her, capital H, an exploration to discover our own intimate relationship with her space as the body she has blessed us with. Within matter, the body temple, we find the codes and keys to remembering and activating the timeless wisdom and nature of what we are. The gnosis of divinity embodied in form awaits our reception. Naseem is the founder of Awakening as Woman and has been walking a path of truth, honoring all that is sacred since her early years. As a devoted student of life, lover of land, carrier of the ancient traditions, she spends her days on a small island in Denmark, living her passion through bringing radical love to all corners of life. Originally from a meditation background and yoga and tantra, and having studied many traditions, indigenous cultures, and traveled far and wide, she now focuses on birthing the radical way of human maturation through communing the personal and transpersonal as a silent embodiment of compassion living and breathing into existence. Her own healing and maturation process has laid the foundation for her current sharing on awakening as a woman. Embodied movement, sacred intimacy, conscious relating, womb awakening, living rest, embodiment and ancestral, shadow, trauma and grief work. Naseem has a website, naseemkakko.com. On Facebook, you'll find her as Naseem Kakko Embodied Awakening. On Instagram, it's Naseem Kakko. I will hand over to Naseem. Welcome, Naseem. It's so good to have you with us again. Naseem has been with Ray for a very long time, even before Ray was born. She was with us doing these retreats on the sacred feminine. So it's so good to have her with us as part of this weekend. Thank you, Naseem.
Thank you, Fatih. Thank you, Fatih. Thank you, Saima, for this incredibly intimate, beautiful space that you've created online. It's such an honor to be here. A real honor to be amongst so many inspiring female speakers, women of wisdom. I'm deeply touched by so much of what's been shared today. So thank you to all those brave speakers that are coming forward to share their hearts and thank you also to all the brothers and sisters that are here, that I really miss the communities all over the world that I haven't seen in a long time, and new friends as well. It's really a joy to be here, and wonderful to bring all of this wisdom into our homes, into the lands that we live on as well, and allow this interconnecting web of awakening the feminine to travel really far and wide. So again, thank you ladies for creating. And a little on where I'd like us to go today in this short journey together. We've been exposed to a lot of wisdom today, and for some of us yesterday as well. There's been so much inspiration shared with us, so many places that we may have been touched, or maybe even challenged or triggered in some way, or healed and nourished in some way. And it feels really significant to bring those experiences home and let them become a little more personal in their nature, to allow these experiences to touch us in some way, in a way that can deeply inform how we move forward from these experiences. And one of the ways, I'd say for me personally, the main form of discovering her in myself, I think, was it Rabia that mentioned earlier, there was some talk around discovering the feminine through, the masculine through male voices, and a need to discover the feminine through feminine spaces and feminine voices. And for me personally, the most feminine ways in which we can access her are in fact this body, these bodies, and nature herself. These are the ways where she speaks to us very mysteriously but very loudly at the same time. So the invitation today is really to just bring everything home and just get a little curious, and bring in that inner eye of investigation to just see what is awakening, what is stirring in these bodies. And one of the main ways I found this exploration to be incredibly fruitful, and Robin brought this forward in her sharing earlier, really inspired me to hear her speak about discomfort. The feminine, if she was awake and alive in humanity already, we wouldn't need to take this journey that is a little tumultuous and a little challenging at times. And the keys to her revelation, really to taste and feel her, in my experience, have been a requirement in that is humility and staying in presence, acting as that masculine principle to allow her revelation. And that means that no matter what she wants, what face she wants to show you, we are required to stay. Our task is to stay present. And in this exploration for myself, what I've noticed is that it's a constant exploration of opposites. So, the divine, in the nature of the divine, the nature of God, is completely without agenda, without opposition, without preference. As we know from this beautiful description that Amina gave of the word Allah, there is no opposition, there's no gender inside of that. But yet we live in a dual realm. We live in the realm of masculine and feminine, and this duality is the realm in which we can learn about these two polarities. The relational field is how we can learn about these two polarities. So if we look at all of existence in terms of these polarities, there are opposites everywhere. And Carl Jung perfectly describes where I'm taking this. He says, the ego keeps its integrity only if it does not identify with one of the opposites, and if it understands how to hold the balance between them. So there is an invitation in amongst all these polarities to find that balance, but we cannot know the balance without knowing each end of the spectrum in a way. So my invitation in the work that I offer in this journey that we're sharing today is to find out in yourself, or let there be a curiosity around, where do our preferences lie? Where are we a little bit more sort of standing on the side of maybe light and good, and a preference for beauty and submission, politeness, happiness, the nature of being strong, agreeable, unsexual, fair, perfect. There was this exploration around perfection that was brought up with Robin earlier. And where are we maybe in opposition to darkness, to what looks and appears to be bad, what feels ugly or unworthy or vulnerable or weak or wild as well. And it can go both ways. You know, we can have a foot in either one of those camps, and the invitation to step into the other camp is really where we start to grow. And that transversing over the bridge of fear and resistance is all part of the invitation to understand these two ends of the spectrum. So that's kind of where we're going today, folks. I want to invite us to just let everything here be welcomed. Let all of us be here. Every single part of us be here. Let this be a space of acceptance and okayness for exactly how we wish to show up right now. And if you'd like to join me just in getting comfortable where you are, if you by any chance have access to a speaker, then if it's easy to plug in a speaker, welcome to do so. And once you feel comfortable, just join me in a moment for a moment of intention setting. Maybe your eyes want to close. And at the end of this exploration, we'll have some time, hopefully, for questions too. And once you've found your seat, just allowing there to be a placing of hands on the body wherever you feel called to go in this moment. And a nice deep breath just to draw that focus into the body. We're going to begin just together with that intention setting to invite a curiosity, to invite a listening, an inner listening, to invite our sense of presencing and staying to deepen in this process, that we may be shown what we cannot see yet, what we cannot taste, what we cannot yet know about ourselves. Just to allow that curiosity, that exploration. And just notice how your body responds as we set that intention together. Notice the yeses and the no to that. Again, all ends of the spectrum, fully welcome. And I'm going to invite you to just start taking some deep breaths. And as you do that, let your body sound itself. And again, we're not looking for perfect when it comes to our movement and our sounds. We're just looking for what's there. So as you breathe, just notice that little rumble in the throat that wants to maybe say or sound, but isn't feeling quite comfortable. And just remember you're on mute. No one can hear you actually. So you're fully welcome to just sound your body however it wants to sound right now. It could be a sigh, it could be a grumble, it could be a quiet exhalation, just staying in presence with whatever wants to be sounded. A yawn, yeah, perfect, Hannah. Tiredness in the body, that's always around the corner. And as you keep in tune with that rhythm of your breathing, I'm just going to invite you to start rolling your shoulders a little bit. Just rolling those shoulders. And notice that fluid movement that wants to roll down through the arms as you roll your shoulders. Keep breathing for me. That's it. And we're going to just start to encourage that rolling of the shoulders to move down into the arms, into the neck. We're going to come into a little bit of shaking, actually, a little bit of extra movement here. So folks, if you want to stand up for this, if you want to stay seated, either way, go for it. But if you've got the space, get on your legs. Let your body just have some time to really move just for a few moments. Remembering as you start to move, so the invitation is to shake to begin with. So to begin with, just shaking the hands, shaking the shoulders, shaking the neck, shaking the head. Take a deep breath. And stay with all of those sounds, stay with all of the sensations in the body. Just letting the body do what it needs to do. There's no structure to this. There's no right or wrong. But you might start to notice where the edges are, where shaking becomes a little embarrassing or uncomfortable. Let yourself be at that edge. Keep breathing. Keep relaxing at that edge. Let your body find its limit and then breathe right there. Notice the structure, notice the rigidity in the body, and breathe into that, breathe into the structure, breathe into the rigidity. And as you exhale, relax, relax at that edge. Letting the thoughts be there, letting the sensations all be there. Just finding that possibility to let go a little bit more as your body wants to move. Permission to move exactly as you feel. Just the last few breaths, folks. Give yourself permission to enjoy. Deep breaths. Stay in that movement. It's so hard sometimes to just give the body permission. But that's okay. Good. And the last 2 long breaths, folks. Enjoy. See where it takes you. And either finding a seat immediately or just standing where you are for this moment. Just take a breath in, just feeling the full vibration of the body right now. And again, exhaling. Let yourself just relax with that vibration, with the sensorial system alive, awake. Turning back to that still center, even though the vibration in the body continues, just drawing back to your midline. Finding a little spot for you to sit and rest right now on the ground, just finding that comfortable seat. However that may look, on the ground or on a chair, wherever you find yourself. Just letting your sit bones land, letting your legs and your feet land. Taking that next deep breath in. And as you exhale, I just invite you to breathe all the way down into your sit bones, into your ground. And as you do that, just for a moment, allow yourself to connect to the land that you're sitting on. Let yourself become a little receptive to that ground of your home, your land, your homeland. And as you breathe here, just for a moment, allow yourself a taste of that land. What does it mean to you? How does it feel to you? Maybe colors or sensations or memories arise, letting the sensorial system just receive the flavor of that land that you sit on, the flavor of that land that holds you, supports you, nourishes you. And bringing your focus up towards your head space, in towards the head space. Just for a moment, allow the forehead, allow the eyebrows to relax, just bringing softness across the forehead, across the eyebrows, across the eyelids. Taking a breath in, and as you exhale, see if you can relax your jaw. Maybe with a big out breath, a sound again there. As the jaw relaxes. Maybe the lips part just very slightly. Just giving space for the tongue to relax. And then again, bringing your focus up to those sweet eyes. And as your eyelids close, take a moment to breathe in again. And on the exhale, inviting the backs of the eyes to relax. Backs of the eyes to relax. Just feeling that invitation for the eyes to sink into the headspace. The invitation for our sense of outward seeing to draw inwards, turn in towards ourselves, relaxing the vision, relaxing the eyes. Mm. And as you do that, bringing the focus into the center of the headspace, core of your head, almost like a concentration point. And as you arrive there, take a deep breath into that point, almost like you're breathing in a lot of presence, a lot of concentration into that point. And as you exhale, let the wind of your out breath be like a nourishing breath around the headspace. The exhale bringing relaxation, like a soft wind to the whole of your head. Let's do that for a few more breaths. So inhaling into that concentrated point. And as you exhale, that wind of relaxation, that wind of softness through the headspace, around the mind, around the brain, just relaxing the space of your head. Thoughts can be there, of course, sensation will be there. There is that invitation to soften. And a last breath in this way, breathing in into that point. Exhaling, softness, relaxation. Letting that gentle breeze begin to sink down through the throat, the space of your voice, of your power in your throat. Just allowing a breath in to the center point of your throat, breathing into the core of your throat. And again, as you exhale, letting that wind of softness travel around the space of the throat, just bringing relaxation into the throat. And there can be more sounds that the body needs to make here. That is so welcome. You might notice as you relax the throat, the shoulders want to relax a little bit more. Again, breathing into that center of your throat, letting that softness travel around the front of the throat, the back of the neck, base of the skull, just bringing relaxation into this area. When I say relaxation, it doesn't necessarily mean that there is comfort. It means there is a letting go. Letting go to allow what is there to be shown. Along the way, stay open to receive the sensations, the messages in the body, the sounds. We're going to let that breath continue down in towards the chest, in towards the heart center. Breathing in to the center point of your chest. And as you exhale, letting that wind of softness, of relaxation caress the space of your heart. Let it gently stroke the heart, the lungs, back of the heart, back of the lungs. Again, noticing what happens with your shoulders. And again, breathing in, drawing focus, presence, attention into the center of your chest. And as you exhale, just let the rim around the heart, around the lungs, let this soften with that out breath. Might be even very tangible to feel the edges, the walls, the rim. And just notice where you feel an opening as you breathe out. And again, that opening isn't necessarily joyful or easeful, but yet it is revealing and showing you something new, another layer, And a last breath here, folks. Just bringing that focus, intention into this space, this palace of your heart. And as you exhale, let that softness permeate and travel. Welcoming sensation, welcoming emotion, welcoming feeling. And let that sweetness of the heart, inviting it to drip down, down through the solar plexus, dripping down in towards your belly space, into your belly. And now breathing into this tender space of your belly, your ground, your womb, your hara. And as you inhale, just feeling if you can allow the belly to expand, to take up space here. And this is a gradual process, so just being gentle, being kind as you breathe in here. And then on that exhale, once again, that wind of relaxation, that wind of softness. Softness permeating. Again, another breath. In fact, when the heart and the belly meet, that softness births tenderness, births compassion. And just letting that tenderness have space as you breathe. I invite you to continue to bring that softness, that relaxation into the belly. And just notice where you land in that. Notice where you're able to really ground and take your seat. Give yourself permission to be there. Rest there. And as you exhale again, notice if you can sit deeper, can relax deeper. At the same time, allowing the sit bones, the buttocks, the genitals all to relax alongside the belly. Letting the space of your pelvis be occupied with your presence. Letting your ground be touched and reclaimed. Letting presence meet the power of you, the power in you. Just invite you to keep dropping in that way. Let this journey of descent carry you further, deeper, wider. Noticing where those edges are found and where you can relax and take up more space. Give yourself, your body permission to expand, to widen, to deepen. As that naturally continues, beloved ones, just pay attention right now to where in your body you may be finding discomfort, where there is sensation that feels uncomfortable, or maybe very comfortable. And either or, just tuning into sensation. And wherever you find that twinge, that tightness, that opening, that restriction, whatever it may arise as, pain, just taking your hand and placing that hand right there on that space of your body, wherever that may be. Allowing that hand to be a hand of kindness, hand of presencing, hand that does not abandon, but chooses to stay. And then breathing where your hand meets your body, breathing into that space. And just simply asking to be shown. Letting your body know that you're here, you're staying, you're doing your best to stay. And if you feel ready, asking to be shown what's there, what sensation, what feeling is being revealed to you, what memory of the past is being gifted to you in this moment. What blessing is your body trying to share with you? Staying. You may get the flavor of grief or sadness, flavor of loneliness, not belonging, flavor of anger or hatred or rage, hopelessness. These are all flavors that exist within all of us, just allowing the tasting of what's here right now, the savoring with reverence, with openness. And even if there is a resistance, a fear, a struggle, we can be with that. We can stay with the struggle. We need to move away and come back. We can stay with that too. Go gentle, beloved one. Kind. Do your best to stay. Allowing that moment of intimacy with yourself in this way. Really just simply recognizing exactly how it may feel to be this intimate with your current state. Notice the ease or the relief, letting go, noticing the discomfort, the struggles in this very tender journey of being human, of longing for love and togetherness and belonging, connection. And recognizing how much kindness and care your body deserves. And whilst taking really good care to not leave what's been revealed, to not reject this, to allow it to breathe and be there in the background. At the same time, just take a gentle breath in and allow presence to also return all the way to the fingertips, the toes, the rest of your body. Just taking your time, dear brothers and sisters, to allow a little movement, an awakening and opening of the eyes gradually. Thank you so much for traveling with me, taking this time to hear our bodies and how they're responding to this incredible journey, Rayfest. Thank you so much. And just before I pass over to Fatih and we open up for some questions, just some words from one of my favorite poets at the moment, or poetresses. Her name is Tanya Markle, and she says very simply, sit in the darkness if you want to feel better, because there is no other way out of this mess. Be still and feel until you can't tell where you begin and shadow ends. It will scare you with depth and spook you with your glory. Let it show you a new way and a stronger, softer, more magical you. When the shadows lay darkest, remember you are made of stars. When the shadows lay darkest, whisper, challenge accepted. When the shadows lay darkest, wake up and feel. Thank you, beloved ones.
Thank you, Nassim. If any friends wish to ask Nassim any questions or just share what came up for them during this session, the chat is now open and you can share there. I can read things out, or I can unmute you so you can share or ask questions. Jenny, would you like to share any? No? So Jenny is just sharing that it was powerful and moving, healing and unexpected. And Usma says, thank you, I feel hugged. And Shanaz, very soothing and relaxing, thank you. Oh, Hannah, would you like to say more or should I just read it? Okay. Thank you, beloved Naseem, for taking this one to a place of deep rest and connection. That's from Hannah. Sabina, thank you so much. I wasn't even aware how much my body was yearning to release certain energies. I was dancing like a wild child at the beginning and then felt so rooted. Sabina Jan, let me know if you'd like to share more and speak, but if not, we'll keep with the chat.
I have a question from Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Beth is asking, Beth, would you like to be unmuted? Okay. Beth just said, Naseem, how did you come to this awakening, God realization, enlightenment, study in the body with such grace?
Oh, Beth, how do I answer that? So lovely to see you, Beth, by the way. Really lovely. Thank you for being here. Through my elders like you, I guess, you know, yeah, I feel really moved. I don't know where to start with this question. I guess to summarize, I had a quest for God when I was young. So I remember my first memory as a child was crying my eyes out in the bathroom with the door locked, and I was calling out to my grandmother because in my mind my grandmother was God, and I just remember that. So there was already some inclination of the feminine and the connection to God from an early age, and then I went on a bit of a tangent. I was a very rebellious Muslim for quite some time, and that rebellion took me towards yoga and meditation and traveling and a lot of cultivation around the heart, around stillness, around retreating, long periods of meditation and that kind of thing. And that the whole time, as much as that was very significant in my journey in terms of cultivating a connection to silence, to stillness. The whole time my body was giving me signals. The lands were giving me signals. You know, I was on long retreats in Mexico in a lot of physical pain with scorpions and snakes showing up during my retreats. You know, like the underbelly of the dark feminine was constantly knocking on my door. And eventually I listened. I had been doing a lot of work with a beloved Tantra teacher of mine who was very devoted to the feminine awakening. And I've been cultivating through devotional practices, rituals, movement practices, alongside all of the meditation and yoga, the more masculine practices. And soon after that, I met my current teacher, Aisha Salem, who has been a constant initiator into the unseen, unknown realms of the feminine. And since I've met her, I have really just taken a huge drop into the realm of grief and discomfort and rage and anger and all these different shades of my past and my ancestry and humanity that arise within this body. And a lot of this has come through my relationships, both intimate and friendship and with nature, and a lot of revelation in terms of what I couldn't see and what I didn't know about myself. So you could say this is essentially shadow work, trauma healing. But I have found, and I resolutely stand by this, that with every piece of pain that we find, every piece of devastation, every ancestral wound that we carry, there is such gold inside of these wounds. And so it has become like I've fallen in love with the darkness. I was so averse to the darkness. I was so scared of it, quite literally. And now I'm a lover of winter. I'm a lover of Samhain. This transition that we're in at this point, it's one of my favorite seasonal junctures. But not from a place of preference, from a place of from how the two are so interconnected. You know, these polarities that I was speaking about, they work in harmony with one another to reveal something very mysterious that lies in the middle. And to me, that has come into balance through the journey into the feminine. Without her, I felt like I knew nothing actually until I started to taste that. And she becomes a part of you somehow. She speaks through you more and more. This has been, yeah, my experience. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Naseem. And on that note, you know, you were in ceremony yesterday for Samhain, and is there anything that was surprising, or that anything new that arose from you in the ceremony yesterday that you might want to share?
For me personally, actually, and this feels vulnerable, but that's the point. There is kind of like a new chapter unfolding in general, and this felt very significant in holding space yesterday. That you know, by nature I'm a woman, so my essence is feminine, and my return and longing is for that essence of the feminine. So in a way, after this journey that I've explained to you, there's been like it's like a nosedive. You just keep going and going, and it's like an endless black galactic hole. And I was aware that in the way that I'm wired in my own being, that there is the realm of spirit, which I had some kind of I have a connection to. Yet at the same time, the spirit realm has far more to offer me, in a way, far more to show me. And what I have found in the last few months, actually, since I've moved into a new house, that this grounding, it's like I had a phase of discovering spirit from these realms. And then I was invited deeper into the embodied realms, into the womb realms, the belly realms, and now to discover spirit from the ground, like a transcendence, but from the ground. Yeah, it's kind of new, and just very, very, very touching, very touching. And in the last few weeks, I have just been shown the spirits and the masters and the guides and the lineages that are there, here, right beside me, always. But I haven't been able to perceive them or see them so clearly from this new perspective, in a way. And so it felt incredibly potent yesterday to be in ceremony with what felt like so much support, and so much inherited guidance and wisdom. And this is something that we all carry. You know, we all carry this wisdom and these lineages and this support. And one of the reasons I love working with Fati and Saima is because I know very well my Arabic lineage and how powerful that has been in my journey, in my heart, you know, and in so much that has brought me into this particular life. There's a strong sense of that. So yeah, that felt very, very new and very, it left me with a lot of gratitude.
Thank you, Naseem. Yeah, it's a lovely reminder that our ancestors are close, our spiritual, our biological, very close. And I was really touched when you said earlier, it felt really potent when you said that, you know, it's an opportunity for us to connect to the land wherever we are. So in this, Zoom is offering us this possibility to touch and receive from the land in so many different spaces right around the world. So that was a beautiful realization. So thank you for that. Hannah has asked about music, but maybe we'll forward that request on to you, Naseem, and if you feel that that's possible, then Saima and I will facilitate it somehow. But I'm sure all friends will join in offering deep gratitude for your presence, for your offering.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Nassim.